Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dbacks Dispatch. Bullpen boys, bullpen. I can't say it enough. This bullpen went back to what it was the first half of last year, where no lead was safe. No lead was safe whatsoever. So game one here, we lost 6-5. It's kind of a bummer, but we'll get more in depth with that here in just a little bit. If this is the first time checking us out here on Dbacks Dispatch, thank you very much. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos here. We typically go live after each series just to kind of recap, and today's going to be more of just like a vent session, just frustrated all hell. Things didn't, it just wasn't, things just didn't go well for the bullpen. Like everything else I thought was great. Offense, so very interesting as to are you on the early back side or are you on the answer back side? I personally less stressful early backs for sure. So, Brett, just kind of give your quick thoughts on the series as a whole.
I mean, it's probably going to be similar to what a lot of Dbacks fans would have. Just like you said, even at the very beginning, just frustrating. Not too surprising. Or not frustrating as in like a surprising, like, oh no, we're disappointed when it's just expecting us to like win it or at least, sweep. We wanted to see competitive baseball games. We saw competitive baseball games. Yes, it sucks that they couldn't even scrap by one win, especially with, like you said, we'll get into it. Games 1 and game 2, heartbreaking loss back to back, especially coming off of the game 3 against the Yankees and that heartbreaker. So 3 in a row, that sucks. So today we were looking for any kind of, getaway vibes that we could get. Unfortunately, wasn't the case, but like we were talking about beforehand, the Braves are a really good team. They're literally, I'd say, second best, if not like the best team probably in Major League Baseball, just on paper itself. Yes, Spencer Strider, we'll get into him. Maybe he's not there for too long, but still, I think they're one of the better teams. And the fact that at least we played competitive baseball while we had all these injuries and still made some mistakes in the field, there's some positives and some things to come away. It's not doomsday. It's 10 games into the season. Surprising to hear from me, trust me, I know, but it sucked. But I think it's a nice way to quickly turn the page and hopefully go and beat the shit out of the Rockies in Colorado.
Yeah, that'll be very nice. As some of you may have noticed, we do have another panel member here today, Oscar, who's typically in the chat with most shows. Decided to invite him on today. Oscar, just kind of introduce yourself to the Dbacks Dispatch Nation.
Yeah, well, I'm Oscar. I'm Gabriel's younger brother, the more better looking, and I don't know why you guys asked Gabriel to be a co-host. He doesn't know much about baseball. I'm the one who tells him everything. He just steals my idea for himself. No, I'm kidding. We have born and raised here, Phoenix. D-backs fan since I was born. I was born in '98, so their first year.
I like the helmet dripping out.
Yeah. It was really great there. And yeah, you kind of give your thoughts on the series, Oscar.
Well, now you know why the Braves win 100 games or plus. They kind of trick you, like in the first innings they look like an average team, and then all of a sudden they don't let you breathe at all after a certain amount of innings. They see the pitcher, oh, he throws this, he doesn't throw that, and I don't know, we'll talk a little later on, but whenever there's a runner on, they don't let the D-back pitcher calm down on the first pitch. Boom, single, double. So they don't let anyone calm down. And well, frustrating because they had the lead both games today. Well,
we tied it. Yeah.
And so mostly on the bullpen, but there's some other things that to clean up as well.
Game, your thoughts on the series as a whole?
Yeah, just Well, first of all, I just want to say Oscar does contribute sometimes to the tweets that I tweet out. He'll just tell me some observances, and I'll tweet them out as my own. So I am taking his ideas sometimes. But
I'm still waiting for a couple of dollars coming
couple
my way
credits.
for those tweets.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I'm over it now. I guess I can. We can always move on to the Rocky series afterwards. But yeah, it was just a frustrating game, mostly just because we had the lead twice. These were games that we should have won, and I know it's only 10 games in now, but these are the games that when we come into September, these are the games where we'll be like, damn, if only we would have won the Brave series. If only this, if only that. And you don't want to be in that situation, especially in this division where you have teams like the Dodgers, like the Padres, like the Giants. Any one of those teams can get into the playoffs and even win the division to a certain extent. So these are games you want to have back. Hopefully, I mean, we're running into a gauntlet other than the Rockies. We ran into the Yankees gauntlet. We're running into the team that wins 100 games every season. Like, these are really tough teams, and we hung with them. And honestly, I think if this was a playoff series, we wouldn't have seen Castro. We wouldn't have seen, Jace play as much as he did. Like, I think we would have had a little bit better of a team going out there. And also, I mean, just a reminder to everybody, no Paul Sewald, no Erod, no Montgomery, no Alec, no Perdomo. Like, these are core guys that we're going to need season goes on, and they weren't there. And yet we held the Braves. The Braves are healthy other than their catcher. We held them. We demolished their starting pitching on Friday and Saturday. I mean, they put up 5-6 runs on Fried. They put up 5 or 6 runs on Strider too, and like they broke Strider, like literally broke Strider at this point. Like,
I don't know if
know
we
if they
broke
broke
Strider.
no, they did. Just say
Gabe just wants to take
our one win.
responsibility.
That's our one win this day. That they
So,
broke Strider.
I mean, let's just kind of transition to game one. Game starts off with a bang. Ketel Marte leadoff home run in game number one. D-backs end up scoring 3 in the first inning. Ketel is. I have no words as to how good Ketel is playing right now.
And he wasn't in the MLB.com's their list for like the best hitters or top players
Second baseman.
and for last week, and Cattell was not even in the top 10.
The disrespect.
Mhm.
The disrespect that gets towards that man it just drives him. Like, this man has been, I think, the hottest hitter in baseball. If you start from the beginning of the playoffs till now, I don't know if there's any hotter hitter in baseball than Ketel Marte. Like, if he does this, if he stays healthy, for me, I know he can do this if he stays healthy. That has always been his thing. Is his hammy going to be okay? Is his quad going to be? It's his ham or his quad is always the biggest question mark for me. Martin, as you say that, I actually did. In March, I put some money on that Ketel because the odds are just like, I was like, that's just, it doesn't hurt. Like, just go ahead and give it a shot.
Like BB said on the telecast, like last year and this year, Cattell could go in a full speed, like unlike years past where he had that like the hammy situation, and like in the back of his head, he couldn't go all out. We had to run down first base slowly, not slide or anything. So this year going 100%.
So I do want to give a shout out. I don't know who it was, but the whole meme of if games ended after the first inning.
Yeah, that was me.
I assumed because it was a meme. I thought it was genius. It made me like, it's freaking true. The amount of runs that
will say that for a D-backs offense, like, and that's what sucks is obviously we see in the trend of they can score early, then they go in a lull, might score at the end, but even still, it's just nice to see early offense. Like, it's not something I believe as Diamondbacks fans we're kind of used to. So, like 3 runs, especially off of now that we know what we know with Strider and his injured elbow, kind of makes sense, but still, the fact that they're putting up 3 runs off of him, hitting the ball hard, putting up good ABs, making him really sweat and work in the first was a really good sign.
Yeah. Gino has looked very, very good. I've been very pleased with Gino. Hasn't struck out a lot, which I'm expecting that, but if he does what he's been doing, driving in runs, getting singles, doubles, hitting a homer.
Walker's been doing that for him, don't worry. I love Seawalk, but it's
yeah, it's definitely tough. But today was game number 10 of 162, y'all. Like, we have such a long way to go, so I'm not that worried. Tommy Henry started this game. I felt he looked better than he did against Colorado, which is weird to say because Colorado's way worse, and this Atlanta offense is good luck finding an easy out, is all I'm going to say. Like, there is not a easy out in that line. Now, it's gotten a little bit easier with Sean Murphy, not their starter right now because he's hurt. Travis Darno's not as good, but he's still a solid catcher.
Are
But
you gonna disrespect Chadwick Tromp right now?
yes, I absolutely freaking will because the man's played 45 career games.
I'm sorry.
So I am absolutely going to disrespect him. But I think the big story from this game, for just the national baseball perspective, is Strider. Is he going to have Tommy John? Like, because apparently it's a pretty bad UCL injury. So, which typically is it's probably Tommy John, which is gonna suck. And then we got this whole discussion on, is the pitch clock to blame for this?
Yeah, I want to chime in on that because we've had guys talk about that before, even before this happened. I mean, it feels like a bit of a, like, you know, I don't want to say witch hunt, but kind of a witch hunt against the pitch clock, because just like a couple of years ago when they started cracking down on the sticky stuff, so many guys were saying, yeah, guys are going to get injured because they don't have the sticky stuff, namely Tyler Glasnow. He had an interview saying, like, yeah, I went from being able to grip the ball to suddenly having to find sweat somewhere, have rosin, like literally anything. I'm not able to grip the ball the exact same way I was before. So now they're having to put in harder grips. And Strider this year started using a curveball. He didn't have a curveball last year. Curveballs are notorious. They even tell you, like, Brett, you have your Tommy John. Usually they tell you when you're in high school, like, don't throw curveballs. They don't let you throw curveballs because of that. And Strider, this guy throws 99. And he's trying to throw a curveball now without the use of sticky stuff, where he's able to do a proper grip on the ball. And so he's probably stressing that little UCL, more than he normally would. So they say, like, oh, the pitch clock, like, it's not, your elbow's not going to recover, because you spent half a second, more.
2 seconds. Yeah.
It's like, it's not the pitch clock. It's guys, most of these guys that are coming up, they're coming up in an era where their coaches are telling them, throw as hard as you can. Nobody is, finessing anymore. Like, they're just throwing it hard now. So it is what it is. Like, it happens. It's not because of the pitch clock. It's just a human arm wasn't meant to throw 99, 100 times in a row every night.
Yeah, it's definitely hard there.
When we're watching the game, I told Gero, he's throwing 94 with his fastball. Like, before, obviously, we knew he got hurt, but is he tired or something? Because he did, like, walk around the mound for a couple of times, which is, for him, he works pretty quick, but, seeing that the velo tick below, it was pretty weird.
Yeah, once we got to around 80 pitches, I think that's when he started to, like, lose his velocity, which usually doesn't really happen with him.
Yeah. And then after the game, he said he had some elbow discomfort, and then they did the MRI, and I believe he's going to have another doctor look at it. So we'll just have to wait and see. I hope it's not bad because he is very exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's good for the sport if he's not out for the year and he's back quickly. Just like with everybody, any like top player, him, Garrett Cole, like when Otani had the news last year, like the scare of like even with him as an Angel is like, please just like be able to pitch still, so like we can watch you on the mound next year. It's just better for the sport when those guys are actually able to be healthy, be on the bump, and actually throwing the ball at the efficiency and the level like we know they can. Like look at Jacob deGrom years ago, what he did. I believe it was his 2019 season. 2018, like that was disgusting. Like genuinely one of the most fun things to watch. Like I don't watch a lot of other games in the middle of the season to late, or it's like I'm already baseballed out other than the Diamondbacks and some of the other things where I'm like, I'm going to watch that. I would turn on every DeGrom game, sometimes over the Dbacks, because I was like, depending on what the Dbacks score is, I might put it on both because it's just so fun to watch pitchers like that dominate.
Like he was my MVP pick that year too, and he ended up getting hurt halfway through. I'm like, damn. I felt like I could have gotten that MVP pick right there, but
yeah, Martin. Every time that I watch him, the way that his foot is literally, it points. I'm like, how does he pitch like that?
Was both feet when like a regular windup points it towards the third base?
His
out of the
one
wind,
foot's in the rubber facing the third base, and then his left foot is facing the batter. So he's making like a 90-degree angle with his feet.
Yeah, and then when the runner on, he to the other foot, he twists it like almost 90-degree angle. So both feet he does that too.
Yeah, plant foot was towards left field. So, but we're gonna have to talk about it. Miguel Castro, Atlanta Braves, just not good. It's just they don't work well together. I'm not quite sure what it is. Yeah, they kind of went off on the bullpen here in the 8th inning. Castro only pitched a third of an inning. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run. If you just look at the numbers, you could say Ginkle actually did worse in this, but Ginkle was trying to go for a 4-out save. That's very, very difficult to do. And I personally feel the Atlanta Braves have the best offense on paper in Major League Baseball. And we'll also get to this. Blaze did not have a very good 9th inning there. It was kind of a bummer. But like this offense, no lead is safe. I don't think any lead is safe. It doesn't matter who the team is. This is not a major issue for me right now. Just because it's the Atlanta Braves offense and they're really, really freaking good. I hope it's just kind of a one-off thing.
The bullpen was really good going into the series. Like they had a lot of outings. I mean, I know the first part against the Rockies, but they had like scoreless outings. They were really solid.
Yeah, when you guys' last show, I commented on the live, like, don't put Castro in. I was actually serious. Like, they have something on him. Like, his slider, his sinker moves a lot, but for some reason, they have something on him that they just square him up. He can't do anything with those pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be some scouting thing that they scouted. They saw one particular movement that is a tell for them that, he's with what he's throwing. Like, it must be obvious. I mean, other teams haven't caught on, thankfully. But I mean, I was saying earlier, like about this thing that managers always say that they always put their guys in position to win, or they're supposed to. And in this series and even the last one, like Torrey was not doing that. Torrey was not putting his guys in position to succeed. So, we want to hate on Castro and everything, call him a bum or whatever people were calling him on Twitter. But he's also he's being put in a position where everyone knows he's not very good in this situation, except Torrey just keeps putting him out there, like almost leaving him to dry to some extent. Like, he's not good against the Braves, so then they put him out there, and it's like, come on, man! Like, you gotta put these guys in positions to win.
So, Brett, floor is yours with some information that you found about Miguel Castro.
So first, like you're talking about with the Oscar, the Braves just having something on him in general. I didn't get his career stats in general. I think he's faced the Braves on 4 different teams, but just in a Diamondbacks uniform, he has 5 games against them, 22 batters faced, 8 hits, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Hitters are 421, 500 on base, 895 slugging. 895 slugging. He has a 7.4 walks per 9 against the Braves. And again, this is a very small sample size. It's just still such a funny stat. He has a negative 4.5 K per walk percentage. Like he just does not like they don't swing and miss. They don't like he doesn't throw it in the zone enough to get strikes. But then with Castro in general, like we're talking about him not being he's a quality bullpen pitcher in the right situations. Like we're saying, when Torrey gives his guys a chance to succeed. Miguel Castro in his career in low leverage situations, he has 295 games, 253 innings, a 2.53 ERA. Very solid. You know, hitters are hitting under 220, under 320 average, like under 340 slugging, which is very like you tell me somebody like a pitcher, if you show me just that as their career numbers, I'm like, let me throw them a 3-year contract coming to the bullpen right now. And I guess quick way to explain it, the leverage index is a little bit weird. It's basically, you know, for example, first batter of the game is going to have a very low leverage because it's, you know, plenty of other at-bats in the game for a one swing of that bat to change, versus when Miguel Castro is going to be coming in the game as a reliever, you know, a lot more opportunity for the higher leverage situations. So in medium leverage, Miguel Castro has 236 games, 128 innings, and his ERA jumps to 4.56. Hitters average jump up to almost 240, slugging over at 415, so a little bit worse. But then in high leverage situations, aka closing situation possibly like today in Game 3, D-backs are down by 1. They throw in Castro, just hoping to keep the lead 3-2. 126 games, only 68 innings. As you notice the trend, his innings drops per games played. So he'll go in, doesn't even get many outs, is already yanked before he can even really record an out in part of an inning. He has a 9.31 ERA. Miguel Castro, when used in the right situations, is a good relief pitcher, but so many times in his career, he has not been used in the right situations. And we've seen that a lot as Dbacks fans. He's not been used in a lot of proper situations. Some of that was not Torrey's fault, but some of that it's also like, hey, like, there's data here for you, man. There's data proving this. Like, open your eyes a little bit.
Yeah, the thing here that jumps out to me the most is just the total batter's face. So that column after the ERA, it's just because that he's pitched a lot more in low leverage situations, which I personally feel is what they need to stick with him. I get why today they had to do high leverage. Bullpen pitched a lot over the last 4 days with the extra inning game and everything from Friday and Saturday. That's the depth here of missing Seawald. I think we saw that today, where he was pretty much the only fresh guy. Ginkel went pretty deep on Friday, had to go like over an inning. I think it was like an inning and a third. So yeah, I think avoid him high leverage at all costs. Just try to avoid it, Torrey, as much as you can. If it's Atlanta and we're behind, don't even.
Just act like you just have a no-name pitcher in the bullpen.
Don't let him get into the stadium or be on the team bus or something when they're playing against Atlanta. Don't want him near him.
So
wash jerseys for that day.
So we end up losing game 1 here, 6-5. So it is. They won on a walk off. Yeah, because Saturday they won in the 8th. So walk off there. So moving on to game number 2. Brandon Pfaadt started. We end up losing 8-9, and we have basically a repeat of what we had in game number 1 to start the game. Ketel Marte. This one, he hit like 12 to 15 rows there in the outfield. Like, he crushed this ball. Back-to-back games, leadoff home run for Ketel Marte. It would have been funny if he would have done it today. And I thought it was funny how we tweeted, "Oh, he didn't have a leadoff home run today. We're gonna win today." No, we still lost. this team in the first inning, I don't know what it is. They need to either balance it out because they don't score in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. That is one thing that they're not doing is they're not scoring late. Like they're getting up to these big leads and offense just shuts down. And we saw that in this game. They got up 6-0 and then they got up 8-2. And we lost 9-8.
Yeah, they didn't score a run against their bullpen after Freed was out. They didn't score.
Yeah.
Let's see. Only 2 hits after Freed was out.
So yeah. Yeah, like this offense looks really good at times. And it's
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like they're so good at the start of the innings because they're patient, they're taking walks, they're doing singles, doubles, whatever it is, and for some reason, there's always that switch once the main pitcher is out. It's that they just suddenly start swinging at the first pitch, especially like Corbin and Gurriel.
Corbin's
It's like
gotta stop. Oh my god.
Here's the thing. I said this, I think I might have said in the last show. If not, it was just when I was talking to my brothers. And all these games that they've lost 6 games now. If Corbin Carroll was at least half of what he was last year, I guarantee we would have won those games because he's gone up there like he did yesterday. Bases loaded. They walked Cattell to get to Corbin Carroll. When would we say that last year? Never.
How much?
Teams don't fear him anymore.
I thought they were going to do it today because Corbin didn't have a good day again, and I thought they were going to do it, but they actually pitched to Marte late, and it worked out for Atlanta. Cattell's on fire right now. He might be the only one that's hitting consistently right now, unless you count Jock Peterson's infield singles, which who saw that coming?
Yeah, like 20 of them already. Yeah.
Yes, it's just infield single after in. It's because he's hitting the ball so hard. Also, congratulations to Randall Grichuk, made his season debut in this game. I think he got an RBI. I think he got in this one too.
Yeah, base knock first at
Yep. Yeah. So
knocks in the 96th percentile hard hit percentage. Oh.
So, yeah. And then Brennan Fott started this game. Brett, you said you got some stats from Fott in this game.
So I went through Baseball Savant, look up the game log, and usually just because I know it's one of the more eye-popping numbers, or at least the first thing I go to on the top, you have exit velocity, distances, pitch velocity, and then swing and miss. Usually if you see somebody in like over 10, that's pretty solid. Brandon Fott in that game had 20 swings and misses. I believe it was 4 came on his slider. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong pitcher. I'm sorry. 6 came on his fastball, 10 on his sweeper, 3 on his changeup, 1 on his curveball. 10 on his sweeper is insane. They got 20 swings in general.
That's his out pitch. His sweeper, if that can be his dominant pitch, watch out. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that sweeper is nasty.
And I believe there's somebody that put it on trying to look at his Baseball Savant numbers. Obviously, if you're looking at the red and blue, he's got a lot of blue, but his walk percentage, 82nd percentile, extension, 80 percentile, breaking run value, 81st. So Baseball Savant doesn't love him. He doesn't gonna have the Strider eye-popping numbers, but clearly, like we see in the PlayStation in the postseason, and then so far in his 2 games this year, he can still surpass just from what he's going to look like on paper, because when hitters see that actual sweeper in the box, it's probably not what they were told about in scouting meetings.
No, they also he had that rough 3rd inning, was it, when they hit a triple or like double triple?
Fourth and
yeah. So it was like the 4th he had trouble. He escaped the jam. He struck out 3 guys in a row after that. No outs, guy on 3rd, struck out 3 guys in a row. And it's like, this is who he is for the most part. The unfortunate part of that, he didn't even leave one swing, like hanging off of Ozuna from the Braves. Like Ozuna barely got it. Like, man, that thing just barely scraped the wall. And it was one of those frustrating things where it's like, this was Chase or anywhere else, that probably wouldn't have gone for a home run, or Gutierrez would have had a better shot at.
I think it was a bomb.
I think
It looked
was
like it barely
30.
went.
No, it was 107 off the bat and it went
Yeah, that would have
401.
been gone everywhere.
401. Oh, okay, because it looked a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Gurriel
that
looked
was
pretty
that one
close
every
to
but
it.
single ballpark.
he just hit it high.
It just kept flying and flying and flying. So it's like he doesn't necessarily have the same home run problem he had before, but that is one of those things where you wish you could get it back because he was so dominant. It's just kind of one inning that really made his
39-degree launch angle. That's why. 39-degree launch angle on that one. But he did hit it 107 off the bat, and yeah, it was according to StatCast 30 out of 30. So it would have been a home run at every ballpark. The thing with Fott is we don't need him to be our third best pitcher. Give us 2 or 3 weeks, he can be our 5th best starter, and I think we'll be okay. We'll get to it later, but Jordan Montgomery did make his first rehab. I don't know what to call it. It's not a rehab start because he's not injured, but he didn't get to compete in spring training. So, like his first ramp-up start he did for the Reno Aces today. So we already talked about one pitcher that we feel don't belong in the bullpen. There's another one, Luis Frias. Also should not be in high leverage situations.
Frias, Frias is one of those guys. Same with Castro, where the D-backs are kind of with their hands tied because that's a lot of tweets asking like, why are these guys on the roster? Well, like Brad showed out the numbers. They are effective pitchers in certain situations, but you have to put him there. But also a guy like Castro, he's owed $5 million this year. They're not going to drop him for nothing. If they drop him, it'll be in September. And Frias has only one option left, so if they bring him down, they either bring him back up. They can't send him down. They have to let him go at that point, and they're not going to give up a guy, who's that hard throwing for nothing. So we're kind of stuck with these guys, at least in the meantime, unless they want to bring up Castro or anyone else. But we're kind of just stuck with these guys, and it's just up to Torrey to put them in situations that they can handle. Put them in the 6th, put them in the 7th, when you're up a bit or something, or even down a little bit. Like these guys can't get the job done, and we've seen it before. They get the job done throughout these last couple of weeks. They go in, get 3 quick outs, and then that's it. But you put them in the 9th, you put them in the 8th, guy on base, facing the Braves, facing the Yankees, like they're gonna struggle a little bit.
Do they have like depth in the minor leagues? Well, besides who's down, Frank and
Castro,
Justin Martinez.
Martinez. There we go.
Who's looked really good so far, by the way.
I saw his numbers. Like it was like a short sample, but his whip was like 160 still. It's still high in the short sample.
I think his whip is always going to be high. He's just going to walk guys. I think, but. As we saw last year, his splitter is just, oh my gosh. That thing, like, if he can get that whip under control, I said it last year, I think he could be our closer in like 25 or 26.
Yeah.
Like his fastball splitter is just so amazing. Like, it's just a lot like Frias. He has good stuff, but he just sprays it all over the place.
I say Martinez has 4 2/3 in the minors so far. 71 pitches thrown total, 2 walks, 1 hit batter, 9 strikeouts. Batters are hitting 176 off of him. He does it like you said, Oscar. He does have a 107 whip, which I would imagine the hit batter doesn't help with that. And obviously, again, very small sample size. He could have a bad week, and that thing balloons. We know how bullpen pitchers are, but not gonna lie, I'd rather take him over Castro. In the one game last year, Justin Martinez got a save opportunity. It was rough. It was a little heart pounding.
Yeah,
I would still take him over Miguel Castro in that situation every day of the week, 365 days a year.
So I'm about to pull up here. Luis Frias's high, mid, and low, mid, and high leverage stats. Look at this. This man should only be in low leverage. Look at the average. His average in medium and high is like he gets beat up in medium and high leverage. Like low leverage, he's pretty good. That average is still a little high, but I think it's just because the sample size is still pretty low. So like one hit makes it balloon like crazy.
Yeah.
But I do not, after seeing this, I do not want him in medium and high leverage situations. I'd rather.
Where his pitches? Cutter, slider, fastball?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know he throws cutter a lot, but I don't know his other pitches.
So
sometimes his cutter could look good, but sometimes the hitters just spit at it. It starts outside and continues going. So
fastball, slider, curve, splitter.
Yeah,
splitter. I thought he had a curve, a cutter.
I thought he had a cutter too. I think his fastball just moves kind of like a cutter sometimes. It might be a cut fastball that they like.
I mean, a cutter is a fastball.
Yeah, so it might just be because I'm just looking on Fangraphs. So at least as Fangraphs is classifying it is fastball, slider, curve, splitter.
Yeah, I mean the thing is this bullpen is suffering without Sewell because these guys don't necessarily have defined roles at this point. I mean, we have Ginkgo as a closer, and he's decent as a closer. I mean, people again small sample size, but it's one of those things where it's like even we don't have to wait for Sewell. Like once Montgomery and Erod come back, in these next coming weeks, put Nelson in the bullpen. Like he showed that he's able to get out, especially early on. Like he throws really well. So we have a guy who can go 2 innings suddenly, in the bullpen. Here's the thing, Ryan Nelson could be an elite reliever. I can honestly see him as a sort of like a hater type, like a guy or early hater, guy who can get, a couple outs in high leverage situations. And I think once our main starting pitchers come back, if we move Ryan there, I think a lot of these problems are going to go away. We're not going to see Castro pitching in the 8th or the 9th, and we're not going to see Frias pitching in the 8th and the 9th. And hopefully, we have Ryan going in there for the 7th and part of the 8th to get Thompson and Ginkle, their proper innings.
If you put Ryan in the bullpen, would you want him to pitch like he did today with 94, 95 miles per hour, or against the Yankees going 98, 97?
I'd rather have him wrap it up because
a little bit tonight, but
yeah, they're still the guy that's supposedly hit 99 over spring training that they still haven't announced, and we have a suspicion that it might have been Ryan just because of how hard he can throw. So if this is a guy, if they tell him go max effort for 2 innings, he's going to get you 97, 98, or even 99, especially with some of the movement on his pitches and the slider and everything.
Yeah, but then
he can be very elite.
We also saw what he did with the Yankees, throwing 98.
But it was for a full game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to go short spurts,
the home and away splits. If you
we will get to that.
The Yankees,
yeah.
For sure. The Yankees game was at home, and the other game was away. Completely different pitcher away at home.
So we
actually really quick before, because Gabe, you're talking about him being a possible hater. Again, it's still some low leverage, but I think he still might be kind of on a Castro Frias kind of thing and he hasn't had obviously much high leverage, low leverage, but in 2023, his high leverage, he faced 21 batters in high leverage. He had a 10.50 ERA, gave up 7 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Medium leverage situations in 2023, 28 games, he faced 349 batters, 6.04 ERA, like 55 runs, 12 homers, 30 walks, 50 strikeouts. So he can miss the bats. But when you go to low leverage, it's weird. He's faced a lot of, and it makes sense as a starting pitcher, you're going to face a lot of medium leverage guys because throughout the game, especially those like two through like 4 and 5 innings, it can be, bases loaded, runners on. There's a lot of scoring opportunities in those innings. But in low leverage, in 2023, he faced 249 batters, 3.70 ERA, much more manageable, 23 runs, 14 walks, still 12 homers, but 41 strikeouts. So the strikeout numbers alone, I think he could, and him working as a starter could definitely, change the mindset that he would have out of the bullpen. But he was really good in Oregon out of the bullpen. I mean, if you have 2 good pitches out of the bullpen, you can work really well. It's tough as a starter, but as a reliever, you can make it work.
Yeah, that's why I think that might. especially when we're at full strength there with our starting pitcher. Maybe they try. The only problem I have is I don't like when they go back and forth with guys. Like, I don't like when it's like, let's start in the bullpen. Oh, no, let's go and start. Like, I think that's what happened with Dre and his arm. I really think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because they did it with Archie too. Basically, same thing happened. So kind of disappointed by that. Before we move to game 3, I brought it up earlier. Jordan Montgomery made his first ramp-up start today for the Reno Aces. It was an okay day. It definitely sounded like a lot of rust as he hasn't pitched since the World Series there. He went 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks. I think that's the one that stands out to me. 60 pitches through 4 is not too bad. So I definitely was pleased with that. But the walks, but again, it's his first start in a quite a long time. So I'm actually okay with it. So just here's some clips from the game. So gets a guy out here swinging way out in front. So good job there from Jordan Montgomery, courtesy of the Reno Aces Twitter. So appreciate them posting that so that we could kind of share some content here. So here's he jogging out to the mound. God, he is a presence on the mound for sure. Definitely looked pretty good. First start. It's not like the walks isn't like, oh my gosh. Now, for me, it could end up being something. So something that I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for his next start.
He comes back in 2 weeks, right? Around 2 weeks. Well, his schedule.
Supposed to be the
what he
19th.
said.
The 19th.
Yeah, well, like in 2 weeks.
It's like two starts from now, maybe 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then I think Erod is still doing long tosses, so I think he's still probably a couple weeks away. I mean, we haven't really discussed it since the game, but Geraldo Perdomo did go on the IL, and they brought up Kevin Newman, and Torrey needs to think about some things he says before he says them. Friday, he chose to start Jace Peterson because of the offensive output. And I'm like, Torrey, have you watched this man since he got here? Offensive output?
Over Blaze
Like-
Island.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
want to I want to rant a little bit about this because there's just some nephews on Twitter going at me about what I had tweeted about it. Because on Wednesday when he took out Blaze would have been second to bat in the 9th, and he's been killing it the ball this whole time. He has been making such good contact. Like if you look at the metrics, hard hit, everything. He's looked so freaking good. The most well-rounded hitter on this team. And then Torrey inexplicably takes him out in the 9th when he's batting second. Like, let the guy be the hero. He just hit his first home run. He could be the hero, but he took him out because Chase, at the end of the game, he said, I like the numbers. What numbers? Someone explain to me what numbers. Then I tweeted it out later on, like, Torrey continues to, favor some of these veterans sometimes inexplicably, which I get. Sometimes I can understand it, but it's this one situation where I'm like, please show me the numbers. Like, I want to understand what exactly you're looking at because I'm looking at all the numbers, looking at baseball Savant, the track record, everything. I'm not finding anything that would tell me that he should have taken out Blaze or that he should have started him on Friday. But yet people are like, oh, well, he's a World Series manager, blah, blah. I'm like, they lost in the World Series. Like, we should be able to question managers and people like for anything. Like, we're not blind followers. Like, we love this team. Like, we want them to succeed.
And we're not asking for him to be fired too. You can criticize a manager without being like, oh, fire the guy.
No, and if I ever say fire, it's usually just joking. It's like, he takes out, I don't know, does anything with Corbin Carroll, I'm automatically like, fire him, he's done, he's washed. Like, I don't mean it. Like, I'm joking. Like, it is what it is. But it's one of those things where it's like, we should be allowed to criticize these guys. These guys have to answer questions at the end of the day. And it's like you should be able to ask fair questions like, all right, what are you looking at? Like, what is it that you see in this guy that he should be starting over this other guy? And Jace right now is the 26th best player on the team. He shouldn't be getting as much time as he is been getting. And yeah, so it's just been frustrating to watch certain things these last few days with his switches and his matchups and everything. It's like, I mean, when we got to the playoffs, I mean, we squeaked by, and I don't blame Jace Peterson. I think he was put in a position where he wasn't going to succeed no matter what. He hadn't been playing all week, then suddenly put him in this high leverage situation where the shadows are at Chase just look kind of crazy. So he wasn't put in a good position to succeed, especially on Friday against freaking Spencer Strider. Like, come on, dude, this dude's barely coming back, and you put him against Spencer Strider, and it's just very frustrating to watch. And like I said, you should be able to criticize and comment on it and ask questions about it. We're not cheap. We're asking these guys questions, and that's what they get paid for. They're like, oh, that's what they get paid to manage. They also get paid to answer questions when the game goes wrong. Look at Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts, he's a company man. He does whatever the Dodgers tell him to do. And guess what?
He's still there. It's the only reason he's still the manager.
You don't see Friedman taking questions after the game when he's probably called a lot of idiotic decisions. It's not Friedman. It's Dave Roberts who's going out there in front of the 100, 200 people in the media. He's the one doing the interviews. He's the one answering these questions. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to answer these questions.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, do you guys think that Tori's call or someone in the analytics department? Because he's saying the number is something.
I think they give it to him and he makes the decision, but they don't tell him do this. It's more of he sees it, and I think he's driven a lot by numbers. So I think he feels it's a good decision.
And somebody show him the Miguel Castro numbers, please. I'm begging somebody, anybody, infiltrate that building, please. Get those numbers in front of that man.
I was like, so the thing is, I don't hate Miguel Castro. I don't like him in high leverage situations. Like low leverage, I'm completely fine with it because the numbers support it. Low leverage, Miguel Castro is decent.
Make him start every other day. Low leverage.
So yeah, Brett, the floor is yours on Ryan Nelson.
So yeah, obviously we saw today Ryan had a pretty solid start. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 7 Ks, 2 home runs, 98 pitches in total, 64 of them strikes. Got up to 96.7 miles on his fastball. Still haven't seen anything, I believe, over 97.5. Like I think he was touching the Yankees game a little bit, but I'll take Ryan Nelson at mid to high 96, keeping in the zone, missing barrels, keeping it, close game. Got 16 whiffs, 9 on his fastball, pretty decent. 2 on a slider, 4 on his cutter, 1 on his change. So it's good. It's very nice to see him actually getting some more swing and miss on his secondary stuff. Yeah. But it made me kind of go into it before because I know we talked about it, I believe, in one of the other Discords that we met in before. But Ryan Nelson, home and away, is a completely different person. He is literally 2 different people. There's 2 different people that show up to the ballpark, whether it's a home game at Chase Field or an away game at any other ballpark, does not matter what it is. Ryan Nelson at Chase Field, career-wise, he has 16 games, 69.2 innings, nice, 9 hits, 20 doubles, 7 triples, 14 homers, 42 strikeouts, 7.49 ERA. Opponents are slashing 330, 392, 596. He has a 182 whip, striking out 5.4 per 9, walking 4.3 per 9. Basically walking 1 every single time he strikes somebody out and giving up nearly 2 home runs per 9. That's just at Chase Field. So I don't know if it's the batter's eye, if he's being seen really well. Again, I think hitters obviously know, we know he's going to be throwing a lot of fastballs. Maybe some days it's just flat. It's just weird that happens a lot at Chase Field because when you go and look at his numbers on the road, literally, like I said, any other ballpark that's not Chase Field, Ryan Nelson has now 17 games, 95 and a third innings pitched. He has a 3.21 ERA, 79 hits, 21 doubles, 4 triples, 12 homers, 23 walks, 72 strikeouts. Big jump. He has almost 7 strikeouts per 9, averages just over 2 walks per 9, over 1 whip, and then just over 1 home run per 9. Opponents are slashing 227, 272, 414, 414 slugging against Ryan Nelson is. I did not expect that number at all. I was expecting it in the 5s because again, like we saw today, he does get hit hard. He does have, the home run bug, kind of like Fott, where he will give up those homers. But that's insane that he is literally night and day on the road versus home.
He's literally like Merrill Kelly on the road. That's crazy.
Yeah, 3.21 ERA. Like that is a dude that you are going to be happy to have in your rotation every 5th day. Because like again, you'll like every pitcher, you can have a blow up start, but if you can get like today consistently 5 innings, 3 runs with the offense the Diamondbacks have, like again, once the bullpen's back into place, like I'd take that. I would take that every day. But again, you can't guarantee a start at home or a start at the road. So that's where sometimes you can't really necessarily take that coin flip where Ryan Nelson, we don't know. Again, some of these numbers can be because of the bullpen. I don't think this is taking into account the playoffs. I think this is just regular season.
Yeah.
So maybe he does pitch better out of the pen at home, like we did see in the World Series, 5 2/3, beautiful against the Rangers, kept us in that ball game. So who knows? But we do know, as a starter, he is not good at Chase Field.
It's the opposite of Zach Gallen, yeah.
It's so weird. If they put him in the pen, they can somewhat control it. It's like, oh, we're at home. Ryan, you are not pitching when we're at home out of the pen. We're just unless we have no other options. Like to me, when I saw this, I'm like, oh my! I knew the splits were kind of bad. I didn't think they were this drastic. Like how just night and day it is for him. Like Martin's saying, it just could be a mental thing. Like he knows he struggles at home, so he presses when he pitches at home. For some reason on the road, he's carrying free, like he doesn't really think about it. So it's definitely not good. Like it's
maybe he thrives off of like, being in a crowd, like an enemy crowd in a way where it's like, oh, I'm the one that's being booed on. I'm the one that's not being cheered for. Where maybe at home and again, I don't think it is because I don't think baseball players think this way. But maybe he is like, oh, I want to make sure I'm putting out a good show for the. I want to make sure, especially to start the season or whatever, put on a good performance for the Dbacks fans, in the stands. But I don't know. There's just something about him there that I think it is something mental. Or again, it could just be Chase Field's batter eye mixed with Ryan Nelson's fastball is just the worst combination ever. Like if he leaves anything hanging, it's on a tee.
With Chase Field, obviously with the background, maybe hitters see, because his fastball could have ride sometimes. Maybe they could, with the background, they see it a little like with a ride, they lay off, or then when he throws an off speed, that's when they hit it. Or I don't know, it's pretty weird about his road splits.
Yeah, I didn't think they were like drastic either, like Brandon said.
I wonder what it is that. Do you have any numbers, by the way, with him at Miller Park? Because that would very similar.
I'm looking at the splits right now for Miller Park for Ryan Nelson. So Miller Park.
Because if it's similar at Miller Park, then I can maybe see it being the actual batter's eye.
Which for anybody else that wants to go and have fun on the splits tool, because I'm enjoying this so much. This is great. It's literally on Fangraphs. Type in any player you want. You go down. There's a thing that says splits tool. Make sure you filter it by. You can do career, season, month, week, game, any way you want. You can cherry pick your heart out. So enjoy Fangraphs. But I'm looking up Ryan Nelson right now for you. You said Miller Park, right?
Yeah.
What's it called now? It changed, right?
American
Family Field.
I'm gonna double check. It might still be Miller Park in this. Yeah, it's still
I think
Miller
everyone's
Park.
still calling Miller Park.
Yeah, so Ryan Nelson at Miller Park, 1 game, 21 batters faced, 5.40 ERA, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 home run, 6 strikeouts, 286, 524 slash.
So, well, I mean, a 5 ERA. So, I mean, it could just be the way he pitches, like his tunneling or whatever on his pitches. Probably just batters are able to see him really well. Maybe he might have to adjust a little bit at home, like hide the ball a little bit better when he goes back. Because it's not like he has a super deceptive delivery either.
I'm gonna see how he pitches at Coors Field, because I feel like that's a hitters friendly park. That's got a pretty decent hitters background. Okay, yeah, 1 game, 13.50 ERA. But again, that's
Yeah.
Coors, so maybe that's not a good comparison. What are the good hitters parks on the road that you think we've been to, like Dodger Stadium?
No, that's
Man,
a
I
Rangers
can
Park.
pretty much like the NL West ones aren't good.
Yeah, like that's
Oh,
why.
it's not the Giants. I can tell you that. It's not the Giants. I know that one for sure. Because just
Echo, he has 2 games there, 2.25 ERA. I know it's like the
Becco has a
wind there.
batter's eye, like Becco has a batter's eye, which is all one colors, all the blue.
So, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to continue to keep an eye on him. His next start is probably gonna. Is it a home? It might be a home one against the Cardinals. Like I feel like it's gonna be the Cardinals one next weekend. So we'll have
As
to wait and
long as there's
see.
no rainouts in Colorado, we can pretty much like pinpoint it exactly. So yeah, he just pitched today. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it'll be next Saturday against the Cardinals. So it'll be a nice test to see if the trend of Ryan Nelson home versus Ryan Nelson away continues.
Jekyll and Hyde for sure. One thing that I've actually noted, well, kind of, think we're kind of done there talking about Ryan Nelson. Jake McCarthy has looked really good.
Yeah.
He's been given an opportunity to get a couple of starts here with Alec out, and he's done a very good job. It was with, I'm pretty sure all his hits in this series were just like bloop fly ball singles that he just hit really, really high. I know at least 2 of them.
Gets the head of the bat just barely.
Yeah, like he is 6 for 18 on the year, so he's batting .333, driven in 3 runs, and OPS of 812. It's not bad. He got picked off on one bad play. I think it was Tuesday against the Yankees. Yes, Rake McCarthy. Is Rake McCarthy back, ladies and gentlemen? I hope so, because you know what that means? They can trade him for a bullpen arm.
Emmanuel Class A, come on down.
Oh my lord! Can you imagine
we're not-
Class A, Seawald, and Ginkle in that? Plus Thompson. Cleveland, if you want to take Miguel Castro and Jake McCarthy, please.
We'll give you maybe
Okay.
Ivan Melendez as a bonus just to help you, so make it a little more even trade. Because you're not the Mariners. We're not just gonna fleece you. We want to be friends, you know.
So yeah, we end up getting swept there, but it's the Atlanta Braves, y'all. They're really, really freaking good. But now we get a easier team to manage. We're going to Denver to play the Rockies, and who knows how many runs are going to be scored in this series. Because
It would be Gallen starting
Yes.
tomorrow.
And Tommy.
Okay.
So we got a 640, and 110. So it's a 3-game series, and then they're off on Thursday, and then they're back here to play St. Louis. It's Denver. I don't know. I don't know what offense and pitching we're going to get, because for me, it's a flip of the coin. Like, you could see where pitching does do well up there, and then there's times where we'll see like 10 runs to the first 5 innings combined. So I don't know.
I mean, I know Gallen and Kelly have really good numbers and cores. I mean, Kelly threw
Tommy
like
has a
7
2.43 ERA.
innings. Yeah, I mean that's when he has that like that one hitter like 8-inning shutout or whatever Kelly did like before he got the cramps or whatever. That's where it first started. So I have confidence at least in 2 of those games, and that's what I'm hoping for. It's like come back 7-6. Don't come back 6-6. That's all I'm asking for. Like I don't want to be 500 facing the Cardinals because Cardinals aren't that great this year, but they've had our number before, and I don't want any Cardinals fans cheering louder than us either.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, there's only 2 teams for me personally that should have more fans, and that's the Dodgers and Yankees. Any other fan base, if they have Maybe the Cubs, just
The
because
Cubs last year,
Red
they
Sox-
showed up last year. The Cubs last year, yeah.
Cubs,
the
Red
only
Sox,
reason
certain teams
that
just have fans that are always here too.
I'm okay with it is there's a lot of Chicago transplants in Phoenix. So that's why Chicago, it's not out of the ordinary. It's the same thing with Dodgers. So many people move here from Southern California. And the Yankees are the most popular team in all of baseball. So yes, they're going to have their fans everywhere. Any other fan base should not have more fans than us at our home games. I think those three are the only ones that I'm like, okay, it's fine. Especially early in the year when you don't know what these teams are going to be. Now, later in the year, you could have a team that's playing really well, and people like to jump on those bandwagons. So, but no, I can see this as a 3-game sweep. That's what I would like. But just get a series win. I can see them.
Coors,
Yeah.
maybe Coors could help Corbin some way.
Yeah.
Freeland
Because
also has
they
a
sometimes,
27 ERA.
sometimes they say when players go to Coors, sometimes if they do good to motivate them or show they could hit,
Confidence.
but yeah, confidence. Could
Or
be.
he almost hurts himself running into a wall.
His ERA is at 27, y'all.
Yeah,
Kyle
Freeland's
Freeland.
ERA is 27. Splits. So I'm looking up Corbin's stats in Coors just to see if hopefully he'll feel a little comfortable in there. Obviously, it sucks he's going to be facing Freeland and I believe Gomber maybe. No, I think the next two are righties.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Like, this is what I'm saying. That Braves offense is legit. Like, that Braves offense makes any bullpen look bad. So, not a big deal. And it's early. We just finished the 10th game of the season. It's fine. We'll be okay.
Overreaction season, I don't think happens until after at least the
All-Star break, probably.
All-Star break. If we're still, if we're at least over 500, if we're under 500, then maybe sooner. But yeah, All-Star break, and then the real overreactions and like the panicking if the season's over or not. Every day like we did last year. Oh, it's Jover boys. We're back on. It's Jover boys. We're back on. Is in August and September. So we got a while before
was. If you were on Dbacks Twitter in August, like there was one point where it was like, yep, we're done. We're like 6 games out of the wild card. It's over. No.
Yeah, we could say that 10 games of the season, but we do, in my eyes, they kind of do count because the series win, you go get home field advantage in the playoffs. Whether they face off against Braves, you go get a home field advantage or not. So I guess teams you don't really play. Yeah, that's what I'd see. Like that matters in that way about home field advantage or no home field advantage.
Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh no, 10 games this season, we're under
500.
Trade J-Mont, trade Erod, trade all these guys, trade Seawald, sell the farm. It's like we're fine.
So yeah, Freeland goes on Monday. Quantrill goes on Tuesday, and then Gomber. So Blaze is probably playing Monday and Wednesday because it's lefties.
How many lefties have we faced this week and a half?
I think it's
we faced like 2 righties.
Yeah, 2 righties though. All these games.
Strider was one of them.
Strider and Hill from the Yankees.
Yeah, Hill from the Yankees.
And Quantrill.
So yeah, 3.
3 of 7. Well, 3 of 10.
Who's the Braves starter today?
Braves starter today was Sale, so it's a lefty.
Oh, Sale lefty, yeah.
He actually looked pretty he kind of looked. I was like, I knew this was gonna happen.
Braves cheating factory? Can we start the allegation? I'm just kidding.
No. Maybe he's just healthy.
It's a joke. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think he's just healthy now. Plus, the Braves have a good actual they fix people. They're kind of like the Dodgers now, where they just take a broken. Like, look at Jared Kelenic, man. You kidding me? That dude, Bert. I think he was a little far when he said the Mets gave up on him, but the Mariners gave up on him.
Yeah,
and he's doing it.
I think the reason is they spend a lot of money on player development, a lot more than, and I think that's why the Dodgers can fix anyone. Is they have probably the best player development staff in the entire league. So that's why some guys are fine going there playing for the league minimum.
Yeah, I want to bring up that really quick when you're talking about the Dodgers. Like, this is a fact I learned a couple years ago, which blew my mind. I was like, it's so logical and it explains a lot of the Dodgers' success. So you always hear about the players, they get a $20 stipend in the minor leagues, and sometimes nothing, according to like what the A's minor leagues would say, like in terms of their food. Like a lot of these guys don't get fed very well, but the Dodgers, from the lowest of the low A ball to the highest, they get Whole Foods catered. They get fed. Like these guys don't go home hungry after a game. They get fed. So I'm like, they're spending so much. Yeah, but I mean, like that helps. I mean, these guys, that's why they're able to develop. They're not having to work, at McDonald's half the time like Peralta did. Like they're able to focus solely on being minor leaguers.
Yeah, you put the money into your minor leaguers. Again, not even in just the hopes of like, it's not a, oh well, here's this money to help your development, so you better stay here. It's just a genuine, you should just want to treat as an employer your employees well. Make sure they have the best, like that you can give them the best that they can. Like you want to be a good person about it. And that's why the Dodgers in the last 10, 15 years have done what they've done.
Yeah. Because
like you said, from the top to bottom, the Braves are starting to get like that. Hopefully this is where we see in the next 10 years, we see, we can look back on this and be like, yeah, that's where the Diamondbacks started to, really have it be where, like we're seeing it, where their minor league system for the last 5 years, every year is always ranked super high. They're always getting poached for the developers. They're always having, people talk about just how good they are, like their steals and development. Where if we can have that translate to the major league team and see the major league team have consistent success, consistent trips to the playoffs, I think we'll start to see it just, build a foundation here.
Yeah. So, yeah, that series didn't go well. Bullpen struggled basically in all 3 games late. It's fine. Move on from it. Heading to Denver to play the Rockies. So we'll probably see lots of homers. I hope Corbin kind of starts to turn things around. Maybe Corbin stops swinging at the first pitch. Like that would be nice if you just be a little patient. Brett, any final thoughts on the series?
Not much. Just flush it down the drain. Go to the Coors. Just kick the shit out of the Rockies and then come back home to face the Cardinals.
Oscar, any final thoughts on the Brave series?
Yeah, these hurt a little because they were in control until the end, and today not really in control. They did not hit at all today. But like Brett said, do what you need to do against the Rockies. I wouldn't accept anything less than a series win.
Definitely. Gabe?
Yeah, it's the same, like win when you need to win. I mean, we had them on the ropes for the most part, all 3 games, despite our injuries, despite our faults. Like these were very winnable games. So, you flip a coin and the other, the D-backs win some of these games. So I still have high hopes for this team. Obviously, I mean, it's only 10 games. Like this team is showing what they have, and they're still very young. The Braves are, these are a lot of veterans. There's a lot of money in these guys, and the D-backs gave them a run for their money. But the Braves, they're World Series champs for a reason. They're a very good team. They're a very long lineup. Like there's no quitting this team at all. So they got the better of us, and you just like flush it down the toilet, get your mind right for Colorado tomorrow. Come home with a series win, heads held high, hopefully able to do some damage against the Cardinals too back home. And also the Alec Thomas too. Let's go.
Yep. Goldie will be back, so he'll probably get some cheers there because fans love Goldie. There's no reason not to.
Dude, he kills us.
He does. He really does. We do appreciate everyone for stopping by. If this is your first time, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. We appreciate it. We are approaching 100 subscribers here on YouTube. So any people that subscribe gets us one step closer. We will see y'all after the Rocky series.